And yep, there it goes. And you guys should know that I am incredibly open to any questions you guys may have. Feel free to drop them in the chat, and when I finish the current slide, I will address the questions. Or if you have an urgent question, please go ahead and just feel free to raise your hand like in person, or you can raise your hand in the Zoom. Welcome Andy, welcome Colby. I remember seeing Colby. And so, oh, quick comment, Colby. Last week I saw that you joined the Zoom. Did you happen to do that, Colby?
What?
I saw that you joined the Zoom last week. We didn't have class last week because of New Year's, so
Oh, yeah, I accidentally joined and then my mom told me what was happening, so.
yeah. I wanted to let you know somehow, but I couldn't figure out a way. So I figured, that you'd get it. So sorry about that. Yeah, but I just wanted to let you know that this is being recorded. And you guys can read the general rules. Generally, just be a good student in the class, try not to unmute and blur it out. If you have a question, please raise your hand. I will get to the questions. Okay. To start off, you guys are all generally in the age range where you guys have gotten the COVID vaccine, right? Everyone has gotten the COVID vaccine, or at least knows about the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we're talking about vaccines today, and vaccines are incredibly important in the history of science, right? When you guys were babies, you get your shots, you have a little vaccine card, and they write down the number of shots that you've gotten, right? It helps you stay healthy. And we can thank this man on the board right here. You guys can see my screen share. Yeah, so this guy right here, he looks very stylish in his coat. But his name is Edward Jenner, and we refer to him as the father of vaccinology. And last class, I talked about what ology means, and if anyone knows what the root ology means, feel free to go ahead and say it.
I think it's like basically it's a thing you study.
Yes, that is right. It is the study of something. So vaccinology, oh, that was weird. Vaccinology is the study of vaccines. Oh, one more thing. We are going to have a Kahoot at the end of this. The questions will be, they should be relatively easy, but I would recommend paying attention. Yes. Anyways, Edward Jenner is the guy we're going to be talking about today. And in these stories, I like to focus on his early life, right? So he was born on May 17th, 1749. That was a very long time ago. I doubt anyone knows anyone from 1749. If you guys, that was before the United States was established. So we're talking about very long ago. And welcome to the person I just admitted. Yeah, and he was born in the United Kingdom. That's what we now refer to as Great Britain. They have funny accents and everything. But when he was younger, much like the kids that we have nowadays you get vaccines, right? And when he was born, he got a version of a very early vaccine. And remember that in 1749, do you think they had very good vaccines? Yeah, exactly. 1749 was, medicine was not in a good place. Let's just say that. And so one of the major issues at the time for babies was smallpox. Do you guys know what smallpox is? Yes, it's a very, I saw some head shaking there. So smallpox was a very dangerous disease for babies. Nowadays, you get vaccinated against smallpox and you guys are completely fine. I'm sure none of you have had a bout with smallpox. Yes, you guys are all vaccinated against smallpox. Anyways, back in 1749, smallpox was a very big issue. And so what happened was they gave him an early treatment to help him fight off smallpox. But the treatment was so bad that he suffered bad health for the rest of his life. Can you imagine if you were a baby and a nurse gave you a shot, and then the shot suddenly made you have bad health for the rest of your life? Would you guys like that? Exactly. And Edward Jenner, he said, okay, this is unacceptable. So many kids have bad health because of this poor treatment. And so when he grew up, he began to study how to combat smallpox. And so that's the story behind how he began his journey in figuring out a way to fight smallpox. Any questions?
No.
Okay. I think Chloe and Haley have a question, maybe? No? Okay. And I got those names right, correct? Oh, so good. Okay. And you guys are laughing at me. I'm sorry. It's difficult to remember names. But oh, let me admit one more person. Oh, we have so many people. I feel special. Anyways, let's talk about the discovery now. So when Edward Jenner was growing up, there were stories, right? When you guys grew up, you guys had stories like Alice um in the Wonderland. I forget what it's called. But there's Jack and the Beanstalk, there's Peter Rabbit and Tortoise and the Hare, right? But when he was growing up, there was a story that people who had cowpox before, they would never catch smallpox. And cowpox and smallpox were very related diseases. And so cowpox was it was basically just another form of smallpox that humans could get. And so Jenner, being the great scientific mind that he was, he goes,
I think cowpox comes from animals.
Sorry, who said that? Andrew, right? Yes, I believe Andrew said that. But yes, cowpox does come from animals. And yes, Lillian, that is correct, what you just messaged me. And so he realized that if you infect somebody with cowpox, then that same person can't be infected with smallpox. Does that make sense? I'm trying to think of an analogy here. If it's like practice, right? If let's say Colby practices his handwriting, the next time his handwriting will be better. The same way the body, when humans get infected with cowpox, we become better at fighting cowpox. Does that make sense?
It's basically like if you have like cowpox, since they're related, like if you have it, then you'll have experiments with fighting it off so that you could like get better.
Exactly.
So the next
If
time
you had smallpox before and now had a cowpox, the cowpox won't last because smallpox is very similar. So you have an experience for fighting it.
Yes, the diseases are very similar. That is correct, both Colby and Andrew. But the way he tested this was very unethical. Do you guys know what the word unethical is? It's a bit of an advanced word, but unethical means that the way he tested this was not very morally correct. It was like he was a bit wrong. Does that make sense? He might have hurt some people while he was testing it. But sometimes that's the way science goes. So what he did was he took, you can see this is Edward Jenner on the right here, and he scratches the arm of this young boy named James. And James now has a cut on his arm. And what he does is he takes some cowpox and he puts it into the scratch on James's arm. And can you guys tell me what you think will happen to James?
So is his body fighting smallpox?
Yes. So that yes,
So
that's
so he might cure the cowpox too, but that doesn't help.
what do you mean it doesn't help?
It doesn't help. It's just continue attacking it.
Yes, well, his yes, Colby.
I think the cut won't heal.
Yes, the cut was pretty bad,
Because
and I can't seem to figure out who. And Alice, you have a comment to make as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, like so the reason they like put in cowpox is because since if people get cowpox, they can't get smallpox.
Yes, that was his ultimate theory. But that is correct. So James, the poor boy that has a cut on his arm, he's infected with smallpox. He's very sick. He has a fever. He's throwing up, all those fun, sick things. Joy. But Edward Jenner is a very smart man. But and James, he eventually recovers from cowpox. He fights off cowpox and he's healthy again. And so what Edward
Because
Jenner
after you fight, are those good to? Are those simple to fight?
are what
Are those poxes simple to fight?
no, they are not simple to fight. They can be very dangerous, and the body has to do a lot of things to fight them off. But we will talk about that. If you have a question next time, feel free to raise your hand and I will call on you. Yes, but anyways, James, when exposed to smallpox, he is no longer getting sick. He is a very healthy boy. I mean, to put it quite crudely, he can eat smallpox and he'd be relatively okay, right? I don't recommend any of you like go and actually try to get yourself sick with smallpox, but that was just an example that if he were to eat smallpox, he would live, okay? And so that's the discovery. And let's talk about the science behind it. And so this is largely considered the first example of a vaccine, okay? And so as you can see, I've included, oh, there's a question in the chat. And yeah, and yes, the most common example is the COVID vaccine. But I've even included a picture of the COVID vaccine. But vaccines are training your body to recognize an infection. So, oh, I saw Colby go. Oh, was that an O from
But
Colby?
it's not 100% effective.
Yes, vaccines are not 100% effective, but you guys are still young, so you guys don't have to worry about that. But effectively, what Edward
member cells so they can be connected.
Yes. But effectively, what Edward Jenner was doing, he was training the body to recognize smallpox by infecting the little boy James with cowpox. James's body could now recognize smallpox, and if he were to eat smallpox, his body would say, "Hey, we know what that is. Let's kill it." And so that's what happens with vaccines. It gives your does everyone know what the immune system is? It's like a little soldier in your body. Anytime something gets into your body, your immune system, it beats it up, okay? It eats it, it destroys whatever thing has entered your body. And so by introducing this kind of vaccine, you're giving your immune system a practice run. It's allowed to practice recognizing that bad thing. And next time it realizes that it has entered your body, it will be better at killing it. It's very similar to the way that we practice, right? If let's say Sarah here has she plays violin. The more she practices, the better she's gonna get, right?
Actually, I really do play the violin.
Okay, so Sarah really does play the violin, and I'm sure she's great. There's some questions in the chat. Let me yes, go ahead, Nicole. You can go wash your hands. Okay, so the virus does multiply in your body. And so what is in a vaccine? There are many ways to introduce this pathogen into your body. Does everyone know what a pathogen is? Think of a pathogen as a virus. So there are many ways we can get the body to recognize. Just take COVID-19, for example. We can get the body to recognize the shell of the virus, even though there is no virus. We can put a part of the virus into the body, and the body will recognize a part of the virus, but a part of the virus won't do any damage. It's only a part. Does that make sense? Yes. It's like, I'm struggling to come up with an analogy here, but there are many ways to introduce a pathogen into the human body. And so what happens is when a pathogen is introduced, the body produces something called antigens. Does anyone know what antigens are?
Seems that kill viruses.
Yes, that is a pretty good description. But antigens help the body recognize when that virus has entered the bloodstream. Someone has entered the room, so let me admit them. It's like if I see Colby walking on the street, the first time I see him, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, that's Colby. Hi, Colby." But the second time I see him, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I know that kid," and I'm gonna go up and like give him a hug because I know Colby, right? And so, okay, obviously, if in the times of COVID, I wouldn't give him a hug. But the point is, an antigen helps the human body recognize what it's looking at. And so was that a question? Did somebody have a question? I don't know if anyone had a question there, but and then so when our body produces antigens, we're developing resistance to that to whatever is entering our body. So take COVID-19. If I'm getting my shot, my body develops resistance to COVID-19. It's learning to recognize COVID. And if by any chance I do actually contract COVID, my body will recognize it and it will kill the virus. And that prevents me from being incredibly sick with COVID. That's why the death rate for COVID goes down when we have vaccines. Wait, so vaccines are painful because your immune system's attack? Oh, that is a good question. By painful, do you mean you have a fever and your arm is sore?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are fever and soreness are symbols that your immune system is recognizing that the vaccine is a kind of virus, right? It's not a deadly virus. It's a practice virus. And we get a fever because the body heats up to kill those viruses. Viruses can't live in very hot environments, and fever is the way the body helps to kill off those viruses. I don't know if you guys knew that. Did you guys know that? Yeah. But fever is a way for our body to basically cook the virus.
Because I don't know how fever.
Sorry, what did you say, Andrew?
I don't know how fevers heat up your body and kill you.
How do fevers heat up your body? Okay, I'm not really sure what your question was there, Andrew, but yes, Fevers do help to kill off some of the bad things that are in your body. And over time,
Fevers react.
I'm do you want to specify your question, Andrew? I'm not sure what you're trying to say.
No questions.
Okay. As I was saying, there are antigens in your bloodstream, and over time, the amount of antigens can decrease. What do you think will happen if our antigen count decreases? Okay. So as our antigen count decreases, our body becomes less good at recognizing the virus. And so that's why we have boosters, and that's why we have 2 vaccinations. Does that make sense? And yes, Colby, when your body heats up, your whole body heats up, not only your forehead. Yes. Okay. That wraps it up. That was a very quick class. And now we have a Kahoot. So let me oh, we have so
Wait,
many.
should we reveal everything before we should do our Kahoot?
Sorry, what did you say?
Should we do like a review before we do the Kahoot so we like understand everything first?
Yes. I'm gonna set up the Kahoot right now, and then so that way so everyone can get into the Kahoot, and then I'll do a quick review. We only have 8 minutes left. There's a little timer that says that this meeting will close in 8 minutes and 45 seconds. So I'm trying to pick it up here. So let me.
Once the meeting ends, you can always rejoin and the timer will reset.
Oh, whoever said that? Who said that? Liliana? Is that true?
Yes, I have my own Zoom meeting and I've done that before.
Yeah, I think one of my teachers also did that.
Oh my God, you guys are so much smarter than me. Okay. Wow. Okay. Oh wow, I see you guys laughing at me now. That's not funny, guys. Okay. Well, let me do a quick review since I just found out that we can do that. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. Give me a second here. I'm like 16, so I'm kind of bad with technology. Okay. We're at the PowerPoint. I'm going to do a quick rundown of everything we just covered, okay? And if you have any questions, please feel free to fire them at me. Do you guys want to do this review as in I ask you guys questions? Or do you want me to just talk about it again?
Talk.
Okay.
Talk.
Okay, I'm hearing talk. So I will run my mouth. This is the early life of Edward Jenner. He was born in 1749 in Great Britain, a very long time ago. As a child, he goes through a process that helps fight smallpox. At the time, smallpox was a very dangerous disease. And this process was not very successful. Remember that this is 1749. This is a long time ago. And so he suffers from bad health for the rest of his life because of this very poor procedure. And because of this bad health, he decides that he's going to pursue finding a better way to fight smallpox. When he grows older, he hears a story about how people who catch cowpox never get smallpox. And he goes, I wonder why. And he figures out that cowpox and smallpox are related, okay? And so he goes, I wonder if I give somebody cowpox, will they catch smallpox? And so that's what he does. He performs an experiment. He takes this young boy over here, James Phipps, and he scratches his arm. And through that scratch, he introduces cowpox. And the boy gets sick, obviously. And oh, 1 second, Liliana. I'll get to the rules on the first slide if you need to see those. But anyways, James, this little boy here, poor boy, he gets sick with cowpox. But eventually he recovers. He becomes healthy again. And this guy, Mr. Edward Jenner. Yes, Tristan, go ahead.
What exactly is cowpox?
Okay, cowpox it's a disease that humans can catch from animals. And just as the name sounds, back then we got it from cows. It's like smallpox, but from cows.
But what does it do? Like,
It-
how does it affect me?
Okay, so what happens is you get a fever, you throw up, you get these bumps on your skin. Yes, Andrew?
Doesn't mean if you got chicken pox, you can't get cowpox.
Well, sorry, what was the question?
Did that mean if you got chicken pox, you don't get cowpox?
Chickenpox and smallpox are very related, I think. So I would say that that is correct, but please let me Google that quickly. Yes, okay. So chickenpox and smallpox, they're different, but I believe that if you have immunity to one of them, you'll be a little better holding up to the other one. Ethan sent me QEF. I'm not really sure what that means. But yes, Tristan, what happens when you catch smallpox and cowpox is that you get these really nasty red bumps on your skin, and you get a fever, you throw up, you lose a lot of liquids, and that is actually how you die from cowpox and smallpox.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Tristan? Yeah.
Kind
And
of.
so okay, and so it's pretty dangerous. Tristan, if you want to stay after class ends, I'd be perfectly happy to explain it more. But right, so he scratches the arm of this poor boy, and James, he gets sick. But after he recovers from cowpox, Edward, he purposefully infects poor little James with smallpox. And can you guys guess what happens to James? Hint, he doesn't die.
He healed.
Yes,
He got sick.
I'm not sure on the specifics, but he was fine. He beat up the smallpox. Okay. So Edward Jenner realized that by giving James the cowpox, James now had immunity. He could resist the smallpox virus. And that is his big discovery. That was the first concept of a vaccine. And does anyone need me to go over this slide here? Yeah, I think everyone was here for this slide. If you guys need, please raise your hand. Okay, well, I don't think anyone needs that slide, so that's all right. Oh, I have 2 minutes, 17 seconds left. So what I'm gonna ask everyone to do is to leave and then rejoin. I will work on creating another one. Somehow I don't know how to make it so that there's not a timer, but if everyone could leave and then just rejoin, that would be great. And then we will set up the Kahoot from there. Does that sound good, everyone?
You
All
have to wait until the time is over and then rejoin.
You don't have to. You can just leave and you can end the meeting and then.
Yeah.
You can leave early. It's still the same thing.
Okay. Okay. Well, I will see you guys in a fresh, brand new meeting. Okay. All right. I'm not sure why there's a timer.
It does well.
Okay, it will work. Okay. Okay. I will see you guys there.
That's because you have to update the Zoom meeting to like get the timer.
Yes. I'm unfortunately broke. So
I think you have to make an account, but I think the account costs money.
Yeah,
Oh.
that account costs.
okay. So now we know that the account costs money and I won't be paying.
Oh, less than 1 minute.
Yep. Uh-oh. Okay. I will see you guys there. Bye-bye.
Rejoin.